Sofia woke up that morning expecting it to be a happy day. The sunlight was shining through her window, and birds were singing outside the castle. She opened her eyes slowly, ready to jump out of bed like she always did. But as soon as she tried to sit up, something felt wrong. Her body felt very heavy. Sofia frowned and pulled her blanket closer. She felt cold even though the room was warm. She rubbed her arms and shivered a little. "That's strange," she whispered. Her head felt sore, and her throat felt dry and scratchy, like it hurt when she swallowed. Clover hopped onto her bed, smiling. "Good morning, Sofia," he said happily. "Are you ready to play in the garden?" Sofia tried to smile back, but she didn't feel like herself. "I don't think so," she said softly. "I feel really tired." She slowly sat up again, but the room seemed to spin just a little. Sofia placed a hand on her head and closed her eyes. "My head hurts," she murmured. Clover's smile faded, and he looked worried. "You look pale," he said. "Do you feel cold?" Sofia nodded. "And hot too," she added quietly. That confused her, because she didn't know how she could feel both at the same time. Sofia carefully climbed out of bed and took a few steps toward the mirror. Her legs felt weak, and she had to walk slowly. When she looked at her reflection, she barely recognized herself. Her cheeks looked flushed, her eyes were tired, and her hair stuck to her forehead because she felt warm. She touched her forehead and gasped softly. "I think I have a fever," she whispered, fear creeping into her voice. At that moment, Queen Miranda entered the room. She instantly noticed that something was wrong. "Sofia, my dear," she said gently, walking closer. "Why aren't you dressed yet?" Sofia looked at her mother and felt tears rise in her eyes. "Mama, I don't feel good." Queen Miranda placed her hand on Sofia's forehead, and her expression changed to concern. "You're very warm," she said calmly. "Let's sit you down." She guided Sofia back to the bed and wrapped her gently in a blanket. Amber soon arrived, holding a ribbon she had planned to wear while playing. "Sofia, come on," she said excitedly, then stopped when she saw Sofia shivering. "What's wrong?" she asked softly. "I feel awful," Sofia admitted. "My head hurts, my throat hurts, and I'm so tired." Amber's face filled with worry. "Should we call the doctor?" she asked. Queen Miranda nodded. "Just right away." As they waited, Sofia lay quietly, listening to the sounds of the castle. Normally, she loved mornings like this, full of noise and activity. But today, every sound felt too loud. Even talking made her throat hurt. She felt frustrated and scared. "I didn't do anything wrong," she whispered. "Why am I sick?" The royal doctor arrived quickly. He spoke in a calm, kind voice that made Sofia feel a little safer. He checked her temperature, listened to her breathing, and asked her simple questions. Sofia answered slowly, feeling very tired. After a careful check, the doctor nodded. "Sofia has the flu," he said gently. Sofia blinked. "The flu," she repeated quietly. She had heard the word before, but it sounded serious. "Is it bad?" she asked, her voice shaking a little. The doctor smiled reassuringly. "It can make you feel very uncomfortable," he explained, "but with rest, medicine, and care, you will get better. Your body just needs time." Still, Sofia felt afraid. "Will I have to stay in bed?" she asked. The doctor nodded kindly. "Yes, for a few days. Rest is the most important medicine." Sofia's heart sank. "But I wanted to play," she whispered. Tears rolled down her cheeks, not just from pain but from disappointment. Queen Miranda held her close. "I know, my love. But taking care of yourself is more important than any game." The doctor explained what Sofia needed: warm soup, water, medicine, and lots of rest. He said she should stay warm and avoid running or playing until she felt stronger. Sofia listened carefully, even though she felt sad. Amber stood near the bed and reached out her hand. "I'll stay close," she promised. "Even if you're resting." Clover hopped beside the pillow and nodded. "And I'm not going anywhere," he said gently. That made Sofia feel a little better. As the day went on, Sofia stayed in bed. Her body felt weak, and sometimes she shivered under the blanket. Other times she felt too warm and pushed it away slightly. She sipped warm soup and water, slowly and carefully. Even talking made her tired. I don't like being sick, Sofia whispered softly to Clover. Clover patted her arm gently. Nobody does, he said, but getting rest is how your body fights back. As evening came, Sofia looked out the window at the darkening sky. She felt lonely and uncomfortable, but also safe. Her mother sat nearby, Amber checked on her often, and Clover stayed close. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. I'll try to be brave, she whispered to herself. I'll rest, and I'll get better. This was the beginning of a hard time for Sofia, but also the beginning of learning something important about patience, care, and listening to her body. The next morning, Sofia slowly opened her eyes. She had slept for many hours, but instead of feeling fresh, her body still felt heavy. Her head no longer spun, but it still hurt. Her throat felt dry, and her nose was stuffy. She sighed quietly and stayed still, staring at the ceiling. She could hear laughter far away in the castle. Someone was walking quickly down the hallway. Doors opened and closed. Life was moving everywhere, but Sofia was stuck in bed. Clover noticed she was awake and hopped closer. Good morning, he said gently. How do you feel today? Sofia thought for a moment. Not worse, she said honestly, but not better either. Queen Miranda came in carrying a tray. On it were a warm bowl of soup, a cup of water, and Sofia's medicine. Good morning, my brave girl, she said softly. Sofia tried to sit up, but she felt weak again. Her mother helped her slowly and placed pillows behind her back. Sofia looked at the soup and frowned a little. I'm not hungry, she whispered. Queen Miranda smiled kindly. You don't need to eat much, she said. Just a little. It will help you get stronger. Sofia lifted the spoon with trembling fingers and took a small sip. The soup was warm and comforting, but after a few spoons, she felt tired again. She put the spoon down inside. I just want to feel normal, she said quietly. You will, her mother replied. But flu takes time. Sofia did not like that word right now. Later that morning, Amber stood outside Sofia's door. She wanted to run in like usual, but she remembered what the doctor said. She stayed a step away and called softly, Sofia? I made a card for you. Sofia smiled a little. You can come in, she said gently. Amber walked inside slowly and held up a colorful card covered in drawings. I made this so you don't feel bored, she said shyly. Sofia reached out and took it. Inside were pictures of flowers, sunshine, and the words, Get well soon. Thank you, Sofia said softly, her eyes filling with tears. I miss playing with you. I miss you too, Amber replied. But getting better comes first. After Amber left, Sofia lay back down. The room felt very quiet now. She stared at the window and watched clouds drift by slowly. Normally she loved to sing or read stories, but today even holding a book felt too tiring. I'm bored, she whispered to Clover. I know, Clover replied. Being sick can feel very boring. I feel lonely too, Sofia added. Clover hopped closer. You're not alone. Your body is just working very hard right now. The hours felt long. Sofia slept, woke up, drank water, and slept again. Each time she woke up, she hoped she would suddenly feel better. But every time, she still felt tired. Sometimes she felt too warm. Sometimes a chill ran through her. At one point, she became frustrated. Why won't it go away? She asked, tears rolling down her face. I'm doing everything right. Clover gently wiped her tears. Healing is slow, he said softly, even when you're trying your best. The doctor visited again in the afternoon. He smiled kindly. You're doing well, Sofia, he said after checking her. Sofia looked at him with hopeful eyes. Am I better yet? Not yet, he answered honestly, but your body is fighting the flu. Rest is helping. Sofia felt disappointed, but she nodded. I'll keep resting, she promised. As evening came, the castle lights glowed softly. Sofia lay under her blanket, listening to her own breathing. She felt tired but calmer than before. She realized something important. No one was angry with her for being sick. No one was rushing her. Everyone wanted her to heal. Her mother sat beside her and brushed her hair gently. "I'm proud of you," she said. Sofia turned her head slightly. "For what?" "For resting when you need to," Queen Miranda replied. Sofia thought about that. She had always tried to be strong and helpful, but now she understood that resting was also a kind of strength. Before sleeping, Sofia whispered, "I still don't feel good, but I feel loved." Clover smiled. "That helps more than you know." Sofia closed her eyes, breathing slowly. The flu had not gone away yet, but she was learning to be patient. Tomorrow might still be hard, but she felt ready to face it, one quiet moment at a time. When Sofia opened her eyes the next day, the sunlight was softer than before. She lay still for a moment, listening to the quiet room. Her head did not hurt as much, and the spinning feeling was gone. That made her feel a little hopeful. But when she tried to move her arms and legs, she realized how weak she still felt. She sighed and stayed in bed. Queen Miranda soon entered the room with a warm smile. "Good morning," she said gently. "How are you feeling today?" Sofia thought carefully before answering. "A tiny bit better," she said honestly. "But still very tired." "That's okay," her mother replied. "Even a tiny bit better is a good sign." Sofia nodded slowly. She wanted to believe that. She drank some warm water and took her medicine again. The medicine tasted bitter, and Sofia made a small face. "I don't like it," she said quietly. Queen Miranda smiled. "I know," she said. "But it's helping your body." After her mother left, Sofia stared at the ceiling again. She wished she had energy to read or play, but her eyes felt heavy. She closed them and rested, though she didn't fall asleep right away. Instead, she started thinking. She thought about the garden she loved, the games she played with Amber, and the writing lessons she used to enjoy. It all felt very far away. For a moment, sadness crept into her heart again. "What if I stay sick forever?" she whispered. Clover, who had been quietly sitting nearby, looked at her with gentle eyes. "You won't," he said softly. "Flu doesn't last forever. It just feels long while you're in it." Sofia nodded, but she still felt scared. Being sick had made her feel small and helpless. She didn't like that feeling. Later in the morning, the doctor came once more. He spoke calmly and carefully, explaining that Sofia needed to continue resting and keeping clean. "Wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough, and don't push yourself," he reminded her. Sofia listened closely. "I'll be careful," she promised. The doctor smiled. "That's the best thing you can do." After he left, Sofia tried to do something new. Instead of thinking about what she couldn't do, she decided to focus on something small she could do. She picked up a book and read just one short page. Then she rested again. Later, she drew a simple picture and colored it slowly. Each small thing made her feel a little stronger inside, even if her body was still weak. In the afternoon, Amber stood at the doorway again. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" she asked softly. Sofia smiled faintly. "Yes," she said. Amber didn't sit close. Instead, she stood and talked about the castle, the birds in the garden, and even funny things Clover had done earlier. Sofia listened carefully. She laughed once, then stopped because laughing made her throat hurt. But even that small laugh felt good. When Amber left, Sofia felt less lonely. As evening approached, Sofia noticed something new. The chills were gone. She no longer felt icy under the blanket. She touched her forehead and was surprised. "I don't feel as hot," she whispered. Clover hopped closer. "That's good," he said happily. "Your fever is going down." That made Sofia smile for real. She still felt tired, but now there was a little warmth of hope inside her chest. Maybe she really was getting better. Slowly, quietly, step by step. That night, Queen Miranda sat beside Sofia again. "You did very well today," she said. "You rested, you listened, and you were patient." Sofia looked at her mother. "Being patient is hard," she admitted. "Yes," Queen Miranda said. "But you're learning." As Sofia closed her eyes to sleep, she felt calmer than before. The flu was still there, but it didn't feel as scary now. She knew she was not alone. She knew what to do. And she knew that every day, even slow days, mattered. She whispered softly, I'm getting there. And for the first time since she got sick, Sofia truly believed it. Sofia woke up when the morning light gently touched her face. For a moment, she stayed still, listening to the quiet sounds of the castle. She could hear soft steps far away and birds singing outside her window. She took a deep breath and noticed something important. Her chest did not feel as tight. She slowly moved her arms and legs under the blanket. They still felt tired but not as weak as before. Her head felt clear, and the pounding pain was gone. Sofia smiled softly to herself. I think the flu is getting weaker, she whispered. Clover lifted his head and looked at her. You sound better today, he said hopefully. I feel better, Sofia replied. Still hurt, but better. Queen Miranda entered the room soon after, carrying breakfast. When she saw Sofia sitting up on her own, her face brightened. That's a good sign, she said warmly. Sofia felt proud, even though she knew she still needed to be careful. She ate a little more soup than before and drank warm water slowly. Her throat still felt scratchy, but swallowing wasn't as painful. When she finished, she rested back on the pillows and closed her eyes for a few minutes. After resting, Sofia looked around the room and thought. For many days, she had only stayed in bed. Now she felt ready to try something small. Mama, she said gently, can I stand for a little while today? Queen Miranda thought carefully and nodded. Yes, but very slowly, and only for a short time. Sofia felt excited but also cautious. She swung her legs over the side of the bed and stood up with her mother's help. For a moment, she felt dizzy, but it passed quickly. Her legs trembled, but they held her weight. I'm standing, Sofia whispered in surprise. You are, Queen Miranda said proudly. Sofia took 2 careful steps and then another. Each step felt like a victory. She walked only a short distance before sitting down again, but even that made her heart happy. Later, Sofia rested in a chair near the window. Sunlight filled the room, and she felt warm and safe. She looked out at the garden and watched butterflies fly over the flowers. For the first time since getting sick, she didn't feel sad about not being outside. She felt hopeful instead. Amber came to visit again. She walked in slowly, smiling gently. You look more like yourself, she said. Sofia smiled back. I think I am coming back, she replied. They talked quietly. Sofia told Amber how scary it felt when her fever was high and how lonely she had felt at night. Amber listened carefully and held Sofia's hand. I didn't know being sick could teach so much, Amber said. It teaches patience, Sofia replied softly. And how important people are. In the afternoon, the royal doctor visited once more. He carefully checked Sofia and nodded with approval. Your fever is gone, he said. You're healing well. But remember, even when you feel better, your body still needs rest. Sofia nodded seriously. I understand, she said. And this time she truly did. After the doctor left, Sofia decided to do something meaningful. She took out paper and began writing short notes. Her hands moved slowly but carefully. She wrote 1 note to her mother, thanking her for staying close. Another to Amber, thanking her for the visits. And 1 to Clover, thanking him for never leaving her side. Writing made her tired, but it also made her heart feel full. As evening came, Sofia felt more awake than before, but she did not push herself. She lay down when her body asked her to. She understood now that listening to her body was important. That night, Queen Miranda tucked her in. You've learned a lot, she said softly. I have, Sofia replied. Being sick isn't just about feeling bad. It's about learning to slow down. Clover smiled warmly. That's a big lesson. Sofia closed her eyes with a calm feeling inside her. She was not fully healed yet, but she knew she was on the right path. The flu had tested her patience and strength, but it had not defeated her. Tomorrow would be another careful step forward. And she was ready for it. The next morning, Sofia woke up feeling much better than the previous days. Her body still felt slightly weak, but the fever had mostly gone, and the headaches were much less intense. She stretched gently under the soft blankets, blinking slowly as the morning light filtered through the castle windows. Clover hopped excitedly onto her bed, nudging her hand, while Amber smiled warmly beside her. Good morning, Sofia. How are you feeling today? She asked. Sofia smiled faintly and replied, Much better. I think I can start moving around a little. She felt a sense of relief and gratitude. The past few days had been challenging, but now she felt ready to enjoy her day once more, even though she needed to take it slow. Breakfast was served shortly after, with warm soup, soft bread, and some fruit. Sofia took small, careful bites, realizing how nourishing and comforting food could be when she was recovering. Amber helped her sip water between bites, making sure she stayed hydrated. Sofia thought about how much the past few days had taught her. She had learned the importance of rest, following the doctor's instructions, and taking care of herself when she felt unwell. Even a princess could not avoid illness, but Sofia understood that patience and self-care were the keys to feeling better. After breakfast, Sofia decided to spend some quiet time in her sketchbook. Her hands moved carefully as she drew pictures of the castle garden, Clover hopping around, and Amber reading to her during her sickness. The simple act of drawing made her feel happy and peaceful. Clover watched attentively, occasionally nudging a pencil with his paw, making Sofia laugh softly. Amber encouraged her gently, saying, Even when you are sick, creativity can help you feel better. Sofia realized that she had found joy even during her illness, and it made her feel stronger and more positive about each day. Later in the morning, the doctor came to check on her again. He smiled warmly at Sofia, kneeling beside her bed. Sofia, you are doing much better today. Your fever has gone down, and your symptoms are improving nicely. Continue your rest and make sure to drink plenty of fluids. You are recovering beautifully. Sofia listened carefully, following his instructions closely. She realized how important it was to follow advice from those who cared about her health. Her parents, Amber and Clover, had all guided her with love, but the doctor's instructions gave her the knowledge to understand her body and its needs. During the afternoon, Sofia slowly walked to the castle garden with Amber's support. The sun was warm and gentle, and the air was filled with the scent of flowers. Clover hopped alongside, barking softly in excitement. Sofia felt a renewed sense of energy, even though she knew she had to move slowly. Each step outside felt like a small victory. She realized how precious health was and how much she had missed playing and exploring freely. Even a simple walk through the garden made her appreciate life and the love surrounding her. As Sofia rested on a bench, watching the butterflies flutter among the flowers, she reflected on her journey through the flu. She thought about the first day when her body ached and she felt so weak, and the following days of rest, medicine, and care. She realized how brave she had been even when she felt miserable, and how much she had learned about patience, self-care, and gratitude. She hugged Clover and whispered softly, "Thank you for staying with me and cheering me up. You made me feel stronger." Clover nuzzled her cheek gently, his small presence providing warmth and comfort. In the late afternoon, Sofia's parents came to join her in the garden. Queen Miranda and King Roland sat beside her, smiling warmly. "You have recovered so well, Sofia," her mother said. "We are proud of how patient and brave you have been." Her father nodded. "Yes, Sofia. You learned important lessons about caring for yourself and listening to others. This experience will help you in the future whenever you face challenges." Sofia felt proud and grateful. She realized that being sick was not just about discomfort, but also about learning responsibility, self-care, and how to accept help gracefully. Later, Sofia played gentle games with Amber and Clover on the soft grass. They tossed small balls, counted colorful flowers, and watched butterflies together. Each activity was done carefully, with Sofia moving slowly and listening to her body. Even though she was still slightly tired, the joy of being able to move and play freely filled her with happiness. Sofia understood that recovering from illness was a process and that being patient and gentle with oneself was essential. She also appreciated the support and encouragement of friends and family more than ever. As evening approached, Sofia returned to her room, tired but content. Amber helped her prepare for bed, and Clover snuggled close. Sofia reflected on her recovery journey, realizing how much she had grown. She had learned to care for herself, to be patient, and to appreciate the little joys in life. She had also learned the value of love, support, and guidance from her friends and family. These lessons were as important as any magical adventure she had experienced before. Before falling asleep, Sofia took a deep breath and whispered softly, "Thank you for helping me get better. I feel strong, happy, and ready for new adventures." Clover nuzzled her hand, Amber smiled beside her, and her parents peeked in with loving expressions. Sofia felt a sense of peace and accomplishment. She knew that she had faced a challenging time with courage, patience, and love, and that her recovery was a reward for her efforts. Finally, Sofia drifted off to sleep, feeling safe, healthy, and grateful. She thought about all the lessons she had learned from being sick with the flu: to listen to her body, rest when needed, follow instructions, and accept help from those who loved her. She understood that even when life presented challenges, patience, care, and courage could help her overcome them. With a heart full of gratitude, Sofia slept peacefully, ready to enjoy each new day with energy, love, and happiness, knowing she had grown stronger through her experience.